Hello everyone. Ever since 1.5 released for Honkai Star Rail, I have seen people questioning if Firmament Frontline Glamoth, which I will now refer to from this point as just Glamoth, is the best planar ornament set in the game for DPS. I have seen people hurrying to replace the two planar ornament sets, Relic Arena and Herta Space Station, with this one. But is that the correct thing to do for your account and for the character you're using? That is the talking point of this video. Through this video, I am hoping to help you guys analyse whether or not you should update to Glamoth or continue to use the planar ornament sets you currently have on your characters. So I think a good way to highlight a character that this set actually might not be the best for is by mentioning Imbiber to Lune, who is one of the best DPS in the entire game. We know, based on his heavy requirement on skill points, that speed is not the best stat for him, and unless all of your other team members are very fast, you do not want him to have speed boots, and you do not want him to be first in the turn order. If anything, you want him to be last. So in that case scenario, Relic Arena also boosts his specific area of damage up more so than Glamoth, so there is very little incentive to change what planar ornament set you're using. Meanwhile, for a character like Kafka, this set is actually a massive boon for her. She is not a character that uses crit rate, and her damage comes from multiple sources beyond skill and basic attack. Specifically, DOT triggers, which cannot crit. So, Glamoth is an increase on the damage that you get from Herta Space Station, while also offering further damage bonus if you reach over the speed threshold. So we can see the flexibility of Glamoth versus Relic Arena depending on the stats that characters need, which leads to the questions I think you should be asking before you put it on a character. The first one being, does your DPS want or need speed? If so, then Glamoth is a potential option. Next is, can you meet the thresholds for the two set bonuses of Glamoth? So you are aiming for, at minimum, 135 speed, at maximum over 160. Can you reach that with the character? And based on this, do you use speed boots? Because if you do, that makes it more likely you're going to hit those thresholds. If you don't, then it's very unlikely you're going to reach either of them, meaning you'd be better off using another planar ornament set. The next question I would ask is, does your team use a speed buffing support character? Currently, we have Asta or Huohuo at E1. Do you have either of them available, and do you use them with your DPS? Because that will at least make it easier for you to reach those speed thresholds. And then finally, what is your DPS character's main source of damage? The ways you check this are by going into your traces. Because normally your talent, your basic attack, your ultimate, and your skill will give you enough information to know how and what your characters use to deal damage. The bonus abilities also give an insight. Then, you go into your Eidolons if you have any, because they will modify some of your stats and some of the things your character can actually do, which is important for considering how they output damage. For example, my Jingliu has her E1. Her E1 impacts her ultimate or enhanced skill by increasing her critical damage by 24% for a turn. And if only one enemy target is attacked, the target will additionally be dealt ice damage equal to 100% of her attack. So from this, you know that she's going to deal more crit damage and more attack based on the amount of enemies and based on when her ultimate or enhanced skill is used. Because crit damage is being increased, her crit rate is significant. She increases her own crit rate though, but on top of that with Rutilant Arena, it's really easy to reach that threshold of 70%, so she's dealing excess skill damage. It doesn't impact the damage of her ult, but it makes her skill damage more than if she was using Glamoth. Hopefully, you guys can take all the information I've given and actually use it to decide what is best for your characters on your own accounts. Because clearly there is no straight answer on whether Glamoth is the best DPS set or not. It's all situational based on what you have available on your stats and based on what you are wanting your characters to do. Thank you for watching though, and I would appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and let me know if there's anything you want to hear me discuss when it comes to this game, Honkai Impact 3rd or Genshin Impact. Until next time, have a good night, morning, day, and see you next time.